Okay, howdy everyone. This is Kiram with Clear Imaging, clearimaging.com. We design wicked websites, fresh designs. We've been doing it for 2 decades and we've helped tons of American companies. And today we're looking at a flooring website and we're going to see how this is doing in regards to search engine optimizations and see if it will be loved or hated by the Google. So first things first, the first error is they don't have a security certificate. That will be a slight penalization. It's not a huge deal, but you might as well handle it. There's no sense allowing yourself to get this penalization. When you get the security certificate, it looks like this, nice and fresh. And when you don't have it, it looks like that. Some of them are free depending on your web house, and some of them could be as much as $100 a year. It is worth it. So there's really no sense to not have one. Additionally, yeah, you'll get a slight penalization by Google, but moreover, you're going to create a little bit of unease in the mind of the prospect. They might not even be able to be aware of it, but in the back of their mind, seeing something like this will create a slight negative impression. So there's no sense to having that, get that fixed. Other points, a really big thing with SEO is amount of unique and quality text. This homepage, I reckon, has 1,000 words, which you don't often see, and I am really impressed. I want to grab a chunk of this text. I want to see if this is unique. So we're going to, all right, we're going to take a piece of it. Go to Google. Put it in quotes, paste it, hit it, and one result, their website. So if a bunch of others would have come up, then that would mean that the content, either other people copied them or they copied others. See what I'm saying? Let's try another piece of content. Paste it in. And 4 results. That's a little weird. So we've got our guys, we've got these guys. Makes you wonder. So somebody could have copied them. I think the text is theirs. So that's the thing with your content. Make sure you write it. Make sure you don't copy it from other websites, as Google will punish you. It'll consider it duplicate content and you won't benefit from it. For instance, if all these delicious paragraphs were copied from other people's websites, Google is not stupid. It's going to know that right away because Google can read the paragraphs, the Google bot or the Google spider. So you won't benefit from it. It's going to work against you. So get your content written for you. In this case, these guys did do that, so they are in good shape. And the amount of text is really good. You want to have 1,000 words. You really can't have too much. You know, you see some websites. What was this one? This one. All right, this is a landscaping website. Let's check it out. Over in Colorado. And check it out. There is no text on this website. They have a heading, right? They've got their header here. Our services. And that is it. That's really going to be a nothing, a non-entity to Google when Google looks at this website, all right, and Google does its thing, scanning through all the code and only sees coding and doesn't see any actual paragraph text, any of this stuff. So it's really huge for your SEO. You want to double down, get 1,000 words on every page. 500 is okay, but really you can never have too much. You can go for 2,000. You could even do 3,000. Some of the best performing pages in Google have over 3,000 words, all right? That's like 10 pages of Microsoft Word doc. I think an average page of Microsoft Word doc is maybe 300, 350, maybe 400. So that just gives you the idea of how much content you could have on your page and reap the benefits because Google loves it. So let's get 1,000 words per page, especially the homepage. Don't neglect the homepage. Let's get 1,000 words on your homepage. They're doing that right, so bravo to them. They still need to get their security certificate. Let's check out some other items. Do Control U to open up the source. So the title is a super important aspect for your SEO. and theirs is a tad too long. Oh my goodness. So you don't want to put this much. That's too long. So we see a snippet of it right up here, right? Pinellas County epoxy. Here it is. And then our preview cuts off, and this is the rest. The thing is, Google is only going to look at the first 55, 60 characters. So they're really shooting themselves in the foot because they're putting more characters here than Google will actually look at. Do you see what I'm saying? Google might cut it off right here, and then they've lost this key keyword, which is Clearwater, because they got greedy. All right, so don't get greedy with your title. A lot of people just stuff keywords in here because when you put words in your title, Google will closely associate you with that. So the idea with the title is you want to put your top keywords in your title, which describe the page. It needs to be relevant. You know, don't put apples and oranges if the page is about pineapples. But the idea for the title is it needs to describe the contents of the page and contain your best keywords in a manner that's not overdoing it. Another example of overdoing it is our favorite over here. All right, look at this. This is just a list of keywords. Too long, too many. Google's going to cut it off right there. And he's not getting any of this in the action because it's too long. So keep your titles lean, all right? Don't try to stuff everything into them. If we go back to this guy, Control U to view source, Control F to find, type in title. This is definitely underdoing it. They've got their main keyword and their company name. All they're missing is their service area. So, you know, whatever, Colorado. So a really good title for a homepage, for the homepage, would be company name, main keyword, and then your service area. So for these guys, it should be Pinellas County epoxy flooring and Clearwater, Florida. Because you don't want to put flooring 4 times. We've got flooring, 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 flooring. That is ridiculous. You don't do that. We've got epoxy, 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 4 times for each. They're really overdoing it. So we just want to pick out the best ones. Pinellas County epoxy flooring professionals. I'm okay with that. Clearwater, Florida. Flooring, and if they really want to throw in garage, Pinellas County epoxy flooring and garage flooring professionals. Maybe not so much. But everything else needs to be removed because they're repeating it way too much. You don't repeat the same thing 4 times in the title. You got to keep it really slim, bullet points. Otherwise, Google's going to note that you are being overzealous with your SEO, and it's going to take note of that. And you don't want to get a red flag, in other words, with Google. Additionally, they should remove all caps, because by making it all caps, you're not, as the prospect, able to view as much. That's a really bad idea. You don't want to do all caps in your title because it's just wasting space. So they need to handle that. And we call this keyword stuffing, by the way. The fact that they have epoxy in here 4 times and flooring in here 4 times, that's called keyword stuffing, and you don't want to do that. Moving along, we talked about the title, which is the most important SEO point. So they're doing great on the content, but their title is totally keyword stuffed. Let's do Control F and type in epoxy. There's 36 occurrences of epoxy on the home page. Holy smokes. Even though there's 1,000 words, that's still too much, right? If it was 2,000 words, okay, maybe not as big of a deal because there's 2,000 words. It's more sparse. But that's quite a dense thing. Oh, wow. Flooring, 42. Floor, 60. Holy smokes. So we got flooring, we got floors, 17, flooring, 42. Yeah, way too much floor. Look at all that. So it's great they have all of this content, but they have gone too overzealous with their keyword distribution. The keyword density is too much. And that's going to be another red flag when Google looks through this. So they've already got 3. They've got no SSL, they've got keyword stuffing the title, and they've got super keyword stuffed content on the home page. So it is not boding very well for these chaps, for these blokes. If we go back to the code, type in Control F, type in H1, we see here's the H1. This is the main heading. All right, heading 1, H1. Very nicely done. They've got their company name, and their company name has their keyword and their location. That is, I mean, that's as good as it gets. That is a smooth maneuver. Whoever decided the company name knew about SEO. So that's pretty nice. They've got their heading 1 nicely done. Let's see if they have heading 2s and 3s. There are 9 heading 2s. It's always good to break up your content with headings. So this looks like it's a heading 2, this guy. Heading 2s. This looks like a missed opportunity. Countertops. Control F. Countertops. Yeah, it's not a heading. They it would help their SEO a bit, not a huge point, but they should get all of these converted into heading 3s. Google looks at headings, all right? Do a heading 2 for a section, and then do heading 3s for subsections, all right? Let's get all these converted into heading 3s, all these guys. And it's just going to be another modification you can make that gets your site going in the right direction. It's not going to make a big difference, but SEO is all about doing 50 different things that give you a 1% edge. And after doing all those things, you've got a considerable edge. So that would be another recommendation. I'm just checking it all out here. Let's go to the services page. Service area, I wonder what that's about. So we've got a service area page, and they've got a nice long list of cities. I'm trying to see if they have anything wacky, anything over the top. For instance, something like this. All right, something like this. This is just outrageous. I'm trying to see if they're doing something similar, but I don't quite see that. So good for them on not being that aggressive. Let's check out these individual service pages. Maybe have 300 words on them. I'm sure these aren't headings, so those should get converted into headings. But let's check. Let's copy and paste it. Control U, Control F, Control V, and it is not a heading. So that's a little missed opportunity. All these inside service pages, these should be turned into heading 3s. That would be good for their SEO a little bit. It's all about doing those little changes. Concrete polishing, Control C to copy it, Control F to search, Control V to paste. That's weird. Concrete polishing. Search for H1. Just want to see if they've got their H1. Oh, they don't have the H1. I am surprised. Goodness gracious. H2. Okay, so for whatever reason, when they coded this website, they made this an H2 instead of an H1. So that is an error. I would fix that right away. Every page should have one H1, one heading 1. But in the code, they made it a heading 2, which has less weight. It has less value. The heading 1 is the main heading. So you don't want that. You want all of your service pages, every page, to have one heading 1. And Google looks at that. The heading 1 carries some weight. So let's get this turned into a heading 1. It's right now a heading 2. Additionally, it's a little light. I would like to throw in some keyword action, sprinkle a little keyword action onto this with probably a city that they operate in. So one of their cities they're trying to rank well in, I would throw that in there. Professional concrete polishing Clearwater. You know, don't just put the 2 words, rub some funk into it. And that way you can benefit from getting those keywords in there. But don't put too much though. Don't dump them in, just add a little bit more. And the same goes for the rest of these service pages. They need this heading 2 convert into a heading 1, and then all these guys convert into heading 3s. You can put heading 2s, it really doesn't matter, it's up to you. But I like to do heading 3s above paragraphs and heading 2s for whole sections. So those are some missed opportunities from our friends here. Moving along, about page. We're not going to talk about design. That is beyond the scope of today's video. Today's video is about the Google and SEO. But there is a lot to be done with this website design-wise. We've got stock generic photos. It's just really, I don't know, it's like a business card. There aren't a lot of sales funnel elements going on that would convert curious prospects into leads. So, but that's beyond today's video. Another point on the SEO, on the search engine optimizations, is they're not doing any interlinking. You notice we have these service pages, right? And they're talking about various things, right? Here's epoxy flooring mentioned. You know, here's countertops. And they're linking them here, which is good, right? See, garage goes to garage, counter goes to counter, polishing. But when we look in the body on these pages, we're not seeing a whole lot of linking back. They're doing it on this one, right? They're linking concrete back to concrete repair. But look, they're not linking countertop to countertops. So I would like to see on all these inside service pages, right? All 6 of these. And I'd like to see them go through the text and find where they can link. Not every time flooring appears, link it to the flooring page, but try to get, you know, 1 link per paragraph at least. That way you're showing Google that your other inside pages actually have meaning. If you don't do interlinking with your quote-unquote inside pages, then Google's going to think, well, they must not be very valuable if you're not linking to them. You know, if you're only linking to them at the top navigation and you're not bothering anywhere else, they're probably not as valuable. So definitely do your interlinking. That is importante. There are other SEO points. There's over 100 ranking factors, right, that we can go over, which we're not. But we went over some of the broad strokes. If you have a website and you want to be SEO'd properly by the pros, come on down to clearimaging.com. That's us. Not only do we do wicked designs and fresh designs, we also have been doing it for ages, and we do SEO properly. We've been doing SEO since the early days of Google. We know how to do it right. We follow all of the guidelines and don't do anything wacky. So we get really good results. We don't do this gray hats or black hat stuff that the other guys do that promise to get you to the top of Google overnight. White hat SEO takes much longer, 3 to 6 months. It can take, not always, but it can take 3 to 6 months for your content to win over Google. So if you want some help, come on down, clearimaging.com. I'd love to hear from you. Come on over to the contact page and let us know if there's anything we can do. Additionally, if you have a website, I'd love you to put it in the comments, and then I can take a look at it if I'm in the mood, and we can do a video and show you what you should do to optimize it. All right? So until then, thank you very much and take care.